And away we go, Mr. Peter Dychtiar.
Good.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
We got everything rolling here. We got everything plugged in. Nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
Of course, everybody knows this face over here. Peter Dychtiar in the house. Make sure his mic's working. Give us something.
Check 1 2. Am I there?
Oh, you're way up. That's such a good mic.
Hey, listen,
it's the best mic I ever saw. It's really probably better than any mic in the world.
It's good looking, actually. I got to say something before you get into your City, Your Voice and your advertisements. Over the weekend, I was at the trailer up in Lowbanks.
Yep.
Contemplating. Yep. And all the stuff that's going on and everything, I finally realized. Tell me who's inspired me. Okay, here it is.
Who's inspired me?
No, me. Listen, here it is.
Who's inspired you?
Here's what I've come up with.
Okay, you're coming up with it.
What has been, and will not be.
Okay, sound like Kamala Harris now.
You got it. Yeah. What do you think? And I took, if you look at it, it's like bean, and then B, so I took the EN off.
There's nothing better than double talk when you don't know what you're talking about.
What has been, will not be.
And let's not affect what has been to what's going to be.
Which can't be. Which could, but might not be.
Which is why buses have wheels that go around, and buses don't move unless they have wheels, and that's why they have wheels.
Well, all of a sudden I started making circles like this that intersected.
and
it all made sense to me, yeah.
Yeah, the bus is on the wheel. You turn like this.
Sorry, I interrupted.
What a disaster. But anyway, this is your City, Your Voice coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls after a beautiful holiday weekend. Yeah. But I had a couple things that went on that I got to tell you about, right? But before we get into all that, of course, we welcome Peter Dychtiar in here in the studios of 4680Q, of course. I have to talk about my sponsors.
Yes, of
course. They pay the way. So we have Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and Hamilton Glowstone Lighting as our sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto Repair. You saw what the weekend was like: raining, pouring, hot, humid, tornadoes. You name it, we had it. And you do not want to break down in your car where you're in the middle of one of these crazy things. So what do? You go to Wild Bill's, you be proactive. You get Ken Hunter to check out your car, throw your car on his diagnostic equipment. It does everything. It looks at it, tells him what's wrong, if there is anything wrong. But if there isn't, he'll tell you that, and away you go. He does everything. And once you get your car running tip-top, then you know what happens? You're a happy motor. Yeah, and if you get in a wreck, he is going to fix your car factory showroom condition and get it out there for you. So you're going to be happy. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. You can't go wrong. Go see Ken and tell him that Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. And I thank you very much for supporting our sponsors. So what a wild day for weather yesterday. I mean, of course, we all heard about the tornadoes. Well, the possible tornadoes in Fort Erie.
Yeah.
Because it's really weird on that lake, and you've got a trailer on the lake, right?
Yes.
So you look out in a thunderstorm, and then you see water spouts.
You don't call it Lake Erie for nothing.
It is Erie. And at times, those water spouts come ashore, and they're basically tornadoes. That's what they are, tornadoes on the water. Well, the one that came ashore in Buffalo, by Buffalo, actually was a tornado that came ashore. And it went down Delaware Avenue, Niagara Street, and it tore down a lot of places. The one in Fort Erie blew up blew the roof off Arona, but they're not sure if that was an actual tornado or not. Tornadoes, you got to have the swirling winds. Sometimes they're linear winds, which are really strong. I mean, don't get me wrong, but they don't have that swirling effect. So it just tore the roof off the Rona there. A lot of people did see what looked like a funnel cloud, but I don't know whether it hit the ground or not. But either way, there was a lot of damage from that little storm. And in Niagara Falls, we were sitting in sunshine.
Yeah, there was one in Welland, too. I was at a friend's house last night having dinner, and his daughter just left, and then she sent back video of the tornado in Welland.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, they were headed around. Like, luckily,
timely, right? Works out with the movie launch.
Yeah.
Twister.
Well, that happened in real life at the drive-in. Remember, they were playing Twister, and a Twister hit it.
That was right.
Like, you talk about art imitating life. I mean, that's the real deal, right?
I've seen one. I was actually working at CJRN, which was just down the street here, and I was going home from doing a morning show, and I was going up Thorlestone Road, and one came straight down, like straight at me, It came down maybe a couple miles ahead of me, and it went all the way, perfect straight line right down the middle, and then just lifted off before.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you know what makes me laugh is that we've spent trillions on climate change to stop this kind of thing, and it's getting worse. So what does that tell you?
We need to put more money in carbon tax, obviously, right?
Listen, I go back to the 50s and 60s, and you know, and there was nothing. You could do whatever you want. Have those cars that get 0 miles to the gallon, and you're burning fuel, exhaust coming out, no emissions controls,
nitric acid coming out of the cyanide plant, the big orange street,
right?
You name it.
And we never saw stuff like this. As soon as they stopped all that, that's when we started getting the problems. 1980, Al Gore. Climate change, the world's going to end. Manhattan's going to be flooded in 10 years if we don't do something. Ever since that, to be honest with you, it's gotten worse and worse. And we've put trillions into this carbon tax and the Paris Accord and all this baloney with our cars, emission controls and catalytic converters. Millions and millions. We've been paying since the early 70s for this. And you know what? It's getting worse. So what does that tell people?
They're getting ripped off?
Well, exactly.
Somebody's lying. Could not be true.
Well, you know, they say the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. But at the end of the day, the different results aren't coming.
Here's what you do. Ask the farmer, because the farmer remembers. Okay. I used to be working on a dairy farm, right? And I can tell you that in June, it is so hot. Everything was dry. That's when you can bale hay. You can't bale if it's wet, right? We would bale hay all of June on a couple of properties, right? And it was 90, 95, 100 degrees. After that, if you recall Niagara Falls, if you were here, during the summer, we had the place times when we had water restrictions, right? And the odd street could do it once, the other side could do it again, and then you'd have days when you couldn't water the grass. That happened all the time. So people forget. Now what's happening is you're getting too much water, and the farmer will tell you, what's it doing? It's wrecking my crop, it's taking the nutrients out of the soils. And if you're looking at leaves, they're yellow. And if you're seeing, everything's like 2 weeks early now. Everything's 2 weeks early in our ag areas, right? That's not good because they're full of water. So they don't have the same nutrition, same taste. Some of them are dying off. So, yeah, I mean, go and ask, why doesn't somebody just say to Trudeau, so what has happened from all the carbon tax we paid? What's going on? What was it about? Explain to me what the carbon tax was going for. And you know what? You're right. Our cars are so efficient now. There's not a lot of bad stuff coming out of your vehicles anymore.
I'm going to adjust this microphone here.
I'm beating it?
Well, I'm sure every time you beat it, it's
making a noise.
It's probably making some kind of weird noise on the mic. But go ahead.
Yeah, headset here.
I can't monitor because that goes with the video.
Yeah. So, anyways, you know, the world is so much bigger than we are. Do you think it couldn't handle the chemicals? All came from the ground. Okay. You think it can't recycle that and all of us too?
Well, I mean, you know, like if you think about it logically, the Earth has been through ice ages, life-ending catastrophes, volcanoes, eruptions, earthquakes, giant storms, you name it, the Earth has been through it. It's still here, and it'll be here a lot longer than we are.
It'll outlive us.
When humans go extinct, which they probably will, I mean...
Only because of stupidity. Yeah. Not because of pollution.
No, it'll be because of something else, right? Not because of carbon tax. That'll kill our wallets, but it won't kill us. But at the end of the day, it'll be here long after we're gone, just like it was here long after the dinosaurs were gone. If you believe in dinosaurs, some people don't, of course, right? But whatever, it's going to be here a lot longer. And,
now, if you look at if you want to see how they manipulate your mind, just watch the weather forecast and look where it says it's 25 degrees. It's now in an orange-yellow area on the heat maps, right? Like it's getting hot. So if you get up into the 30s, well, you're into bright red. So if you look at what they've done with the weather maps now, the heat temperatures has all been dropped down. 25 degrees is not hot, and you have to be aware. Just look at the color when it says 25 degrees. It's now in the orange-yellow now. So
it's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah,
it's the weirdest thing ever what they've done, and it's all a psychological mind game with those maps. It used to be yellow, maybe orange. Now it's bright red.
Oh, yeah.
Because they want you to think it's the end of the world when it hits 30 degrees. That's nothing in Death Valley.
And when we were told last year, remember, we were told there was one day, it was the hottest day ever recorded in history. Oh, man. What did you get up? You got up to 96 degrees. I remember 101. I remember 102. I remember 103 in Niagara Falls. I remember it vividly because I was a temperature weather watcher.
Yeah, we were kids. I mean, it got hot. That's we couldn't wait for July and August. They called them the dog days of summer.
Got it. Exactly.
It was hot, it was humid, and there wasn't even a breeze.
And we would lay in our beds with no air conditioning going, please, just that one little waft that would come across you could go to sleep.
So anyway, that was
or we just nuts. Maybe we just got dementia. We don't remember correctly.
Well, no, we remember. We remember. It's just everybody's so used to having everything else that 25 or 30 degrees seems hot. But at the end of the day, we were kids. We were out in that all day.
We loved it.
Running, playing, go under a tree if you get hot, have some water.
Kool-Aid.
Out of the hose, Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Out of the hose water. We never went in the
No,
hose.
Exactly. And some mom in the neighborhood always had Kool-Aid for us.
Always.
Hey kids, come and get some Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And actually my one a neighbor, she put the face on there. Yeah, but we actually
gave us energy.
Yeah, because we actually worked it off, right?
Oh yeah.
We didn't sit around and do this.
On the computer, yeah. We didn't do that. We were out playing, riding our bicycles, playing football, baseball, hockey, depending on what season it was. Yeah, kick the can, hit the can, tag, you name it, we did it. We're running all over the place.
Ball hockey, even in the summer. We played ball hockey in
the summer. Didn't matter. Didn't matter. Whenever you got a bunch of guys together in a net, you were on the road.
That's right.
Right? In the fall, we played football because it was, Canadian Football League started in that. And the NFL, when I was a kid, didn't have the exposure it has now. I mean, Buffalo had a team, and we heard of Vince Lombardi, and Super Bowl started in 66 or 67. That it became bigger after that. Once everybody we didn't even have a colored TV till the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a black and white TV when I was a kid. We had a black and white TV
with the foil on top, twisting the antenna, hoping you could get it in better. WUTV.
Yeah. Weird. That's what we had to do. So no wonder we didn't watch TV. What the hell was on? Nothing. Right? We were outside. So it was a wild weekend for me too. My mother turned 99 years old.
Are you kidding me?
Nope, 99.
Happy birthday, Mom.
On Sunday, happy birthday, Mary. And on Sunday, she was 99. We celebrated it at the home. She's in a home.
Yeah.
And she's in good health. I mean, her health is phenomenal. And she'll make 100 unless something big happens. At that age, it's but day by day, you know what I mean? Minute by minute, really. She's outlived her expectancy by 20 years now.
How'd she get through the pandemic?
Fine. She got COVID and nothing.
Really?
97 years old. Nothing.
Unbelievable.
Everybody else was getting sick. She didn't get anything. And she's had it again, they said. But I mean, they keep testing for this, but she doesn't get sick or anything. On her floor, there were 22 people out of 30 who got COVID. She never got vaccinated. She said, I'm not getting vaccinated. And she never got it out of 30 people.
Yeah. I will believe that. Listen, the immune system, as long as you feed it and take care of it, will take care of you. That's what it's for. That's what it was designed for.
Well, these older people, too, they have bulletproof immune systems. They were exposed to everything you can imagine. And her immune system got her through Spanish flu, whatever the heck else, the Depression, World War II, World War III, whatever's going on. And her immune system is phenomenal for 99. And she heals. Like if she gets a cut, she heals like fast.
Yeah.
Like her body is still, she can't walk. Her mobility is gone at 99. Her hearing's going, her eyes are going. But she can still sit down and skunk me in cribbage. I mean, no problem, right? It's amazing. So,
and you know what? We all played in the dirt. She played in the dirt. We got sick. We got really sick, but our immune systems were built up.
I'm telling you that makes a difference.
Playing in the dirt absolutely does.
It really does. Yeah. And I laughed my head off. But at the end of the day, she's 99 and going for 100. And her grandmother lived to 106. So she's got a goal to aim for if she wants to, right?
Well, she's in her 100th year now.
That's right.
Good.
She's in her 100th year.
I love to hear that.
I'll never see that, but good for her.
Is she draining the system, though? I mean, is she draining the system?
She probably is. Yeah, like the actuaries didn't plan on that one, but they better start because a lot more people are living well into their 90s and 100s, The other thing that happened is, believe it or not, nice guy got blacklisted from a restaurant.
No.
Yes, I can't go into the restaurant.
Didn't give him a good review?
Well, I never gave him a bad review. Somebody else did, and they didn't like that. And basically, they went after me about it. And by the way they talked, I guess they didn't want me in the restaurant anymore.
Banned for life?
I'm banned. I'm on the blacklist.
Wow.
You know how they had the black book in Vegas?
Yeah.
Well, I'm on this guy's black book. So anyway, it's hilarious because I do restaurant reviews, Niagara, home of honest reviews. Everybody knows I have that. And basically somebody gave a bad review to this restaurant, which, like that stuff has nothing to do with me. I'm not taking it off because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
If you're good, you're good. If you're bad, they'll let you know and you got to improve. That's what the whole deal is.
Were they good?
Excellent.
Yeah.
I was there a few times. They were very, very good. Right. So I said to the guy, well, listen, let me put something on there about it for, to kind of offset the bad reviews. The guy is going through a few things here, right? With staff and stuff. And no, I don't want you saying anything about it. And I'm going, oh, well, okay, right?
Then it stays.
I try my best. What the old saying is, you can lead a horse to water. But if you
Can't
don't
make him drink.
you don't want my help, and the message the guy sent me was pretty inappropriate, really. If I could have just posted it on Restaurant Reviews Niagara and really buried the guy. But I'm not going to do that. That's not what it's all about. He's going through tough times. We realize it. But if you get bad reviews, you got to sharpen up your act. What do you want me to do?
Hey, it's fair.
And I didn't even put the review in myself.
Yeah.
I've given him nothing but good reviews. So I was.
And you're not fair if you take it off. You're not.
No. And I was pretty disappointed in him blacklisting me, basically. I mean, he didn't say you can't come in anymore, but his attitude was, nah. And I wouldn't go in there anyway. I mean, who knows what they're going to do? They might poison me for all I know.
I only got kicked out of one bar.
I've never been kicked out of a bar. I'm usually pretty good at bars.
The Cove. Remember the Cove in Niagara Falls, New York?
Yeah.
Yeah, banned for life.
I
won't get into that. But it was.
But, life goes on. What are you going to do? People are way too sensitive today, and they play the blame game for their deficiencies. And basically, they need to look into the mirror and they'll find out the real problem, right? What do you want me to do? But anyway, that was interesting. Because usually I get along pretty good with everybody. So for the guy to really, wow.
Yeah, he was just having a bad day.
Especially when I didn't even do it.
Yeah, I know. But it's up to you to.
But I'm the guy.
You see, that's how politics works.
Exactly.
Right? So if you've been to it, because, I want to keep this guy, maybe he'll give me a nice free food the next time, la, 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 and you get the benefits. But you see, you didn't do it.
You got to take the good with the bad, right?
You can't be a politician.
So at the region here, they came out with 8.72% increase. That's what they're looking at hitting us with this year.
Stand up against this.
And, I laugh because we're just waiting, with our hands in our pockets, trying to keep their hands out of our pockets. And, of course, the decision's going to come down when they have the regional meeting about the budget. But this is what they're anticipating because of inflationary stress and baloney like that. Listen, they're tax and spend liberals at the region. They love to take your money and they love to spend it.
Well, who runs the region? Is he a liberal?
Of course, Bradley.
Yeah.
A 40-year liberal. All his life he's been a liberal. And most of the people on council are liberals. I think Bob Gale's maybe the only one and a couple other guys.
Yep. They're
conservatives. But here's my take on that. Listen, instead of telling us 8.72%, why don't they say this? We're shooting for a 0% increase, right? And we're going to work towards zero. That's our goal. Not, we looked at it and it's going to be 8.72%. Then they're going to try to work backwards from that. This is the old baloney game they play as politicians. They're going to try to work backwards. They're going to get down to like 5.9 and say, we shaved 1% off it or 2% off it. It's the game they play, but they shouldn't play that game with taxpayers. We depend on them to handle our money right. That's why we give it to them, and they're elected to handle our money right. So why not shoot for a zero? And then back at and take it up if they have to. But you know what? Wants and needs are two different things.
Here's how they look at it. Exactly like you said. They set you up. It's the same as gas prices. Put them way up, pull them back. Put them way up, pull them back. You go, thank God it's $1.62. Okay. Meanwhile, it should be 99 cents. Okay?
Exactly.
It should be 99. It's the same game. Let's look at what really gets taken care of at the region. Look at what the buildings up there. This is like the palace. It's the palace where Niagara region is, right? I went by there after being in Florida for 6 months. Wow, what happened here, right? And it's all about bureaucracy. It's all heavy at the top. And the real simple thing is start cutting some of your bureaucracy. Start cutting some of the region down. Or City of Niagara Falls, grow some and get us out of the region.
Yeah, and like the region should be gone. That's the problem. Our problem is duplication of services. These guys have one of everything. Niagara Falls has one of everything. Every municipality has one of everything. Economic development, and that they hand the region over. We save $7.5 million, but then they charge us $15 million for the same service. This is the way it goes with the region. It never ends. And so they're telling us that. So what do you think City Council is going to do?
Same thing.
And Theo Daddy was on, the mayor. He is the big show. He was on CHCH this morning saying, we're really going to try to hold it to an inflationary budget, which he did last year at 4%. The year before was 8%. We paid 13% over the last 2 years. That's compounded, by the way, right? For 4% of the other 13%, they already raised it. So, you know what? This is dumb. And there's $70 million floating around. We should get a 10% decrease this year. You know that, right?
100%.
But they're not going to even think about that unless a bunch of people get up, like they did in Niagara-on-the-Lake, and start yelling and screaming at City Hall saying, you've had enough. We're mad as hell. We're not taking it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the problem. Is we in Niagara Falls always go like this. Oh, but they promise if we just suffer now, it'll be good later. If we just suffer this week, it's going to be good next week. It never is. It never gets better. In this city, if we were just Niagara Falls, do you think we'd ever have a tax increase? How could you?
Probably not. We got 20 million, 24 million coming in from the casino every year that other cities don't.
Not a chance we have. And all the revenue from our buildings down there that stand before the falls, all the attractions, small population, why do we need a tax increase? They're going to go on it too. And I love it. Inflation. How much are we taxed? Carbon tax, property tax, GST, PST, your revenue tax, income tax, tax. Their inflation went up. We had several years during the scamdemic where people couldn't make money, where they were suffering. And now you're in, because of inflation. Where do you think this money's coming from? I truly, honestly, I walked into a store that used to sell mostly vegetables. You know the store that I'm talking about. Won't name it. I walked into the big box stores. And I thought when I was living in Naples that it was expensive there. I really did. I thought it's expensive, but it's okay. I come back here, I'll tell you right now, it is way more expensive here. If I spent $150 at Costco in the States, I would come out with a buggy full. Here, I carried it out last week. I carried it out.
Yeah. And
I walked into the thing and spent $40 buying veggies and stuff, going, what have I got here? And then I started thinking, what about families with kids? What about families you making $40,000 a year? You're in poverty. You're making $50,000, $60,000 a year, and you got a couple. You're in poverty, and they're talking about inflation for poor them. They got to take care of them. They live in the ivory tower. They drive the best vehicles. They got the new vehicles. They've got great pensions. They're taken care of. They got dental, massages, you name it. Probably clothes allowances. Who knows? But it's wrong. They sit there and live beautifully, like Mr. Trudeau lives wonderfully, and tries to tell you that we have to put up with it. Meanwhile, he doesn't pay taxes because he's got everything hidden, right? In trusts and stuff. So they dictate to you, and that's what it is. That's what a dictatorship is. They dictate to you, unless, of course, you open your mouth and you say something and you stand up together, and they will stop because we outnumber them and we have the power. I don't understand why people don't get that. Why don't they understand that we have the power?
I don't get it. You're right, because they think the politicians have the power. And if they go down there and protest at City Hall, that this is going to happen to them. No. The thing is, we voted for them. They are our public servants. They're responsible to us. So when you have only 8 standing up and saying it's only $8 a year, no, only 8, it isn't. And that shows you don't know what you're talking about, because it's $8 from the city, another $20, $80 a year from the city, and $8 a month, but it's about $800 a month when you add up all the carbon taxes and gas taxes, food taxes, and inflation and utilities and everything else. It's ridiculous. So to get up and say it's only $8 a month is so demeaning, and it's just ludicrous. How out of touch are you?
It's only.
If it was only $8 a month, I'll take that deal all day.
Yeah, you're right.
Give me back my carbon tax. Give me back my income tax. Give me back everything else.
Well, 8 out of 10 people get more back.
Yeah. I'm telling you, this is the biggest, And afraid of politicians to stand up. It's only this, only that. That's fine when you're making tons of money. We have these guys who pike you for a beer, and they're making 150 grand a year. And that's the way it goes. You get tired of them, but at the end of the day, just I'm going to give you some important dates if you're into watching. November 26th is going to be the date for the capital and parking budget at City Council chambers. And then on December 10th, they're going to go with the wastewater budget, which is not included in the capital budget. So that's on top of everything. And the operating budget is on January 21st. That's where they tell you how much it's going to cost to run the city for a year. And, and it equals about $170 million a year that they're blowing. And mark the dates on your calendar. You see how much you're going to get burned for this year. And just always remember that they underestimated the casino revenue by $5.5 million in 2023. They underestimated it by $10 million in 2024. That's right there, $15 million. And we got 50 or 60 million or 40, 50 million, something like that for Niagara Regional Broadband Services when they sold it to Cogeco.
$7 million from transit.
And we saved that $7.5 million. So at the end of the day, we have about 70 million floating around.
Minimum.
Are they going to give us any back? Well, we'll see. I mean, we own Niagara Regional Broadband. That was ours. The taxpayer bought it, paid for it. And when they sold it, that's our money. Where's our money? I haven't seen a report yet how much they sold it for.
It's invested in great things in the future.
I can.
For our future.
I can imagine. Pickleball courts, ghetto domes, and other baloney.
I saw the dome the other day, and I went,
I saw the dome today. Oh, no.
I saw it the other day because I hadn't been down that part of town for a long time, and I went,
it's ridiculous.
This pay. How do you get the mentality that you owe? What do you figure out of a buck we get back that we've earned? What do you figure? Seriously and honestly.
Well, probably about 20 cents.
25 cents. That's what I figure it is. 25 cents. How do you live on that? What business could operate on that?
None.
Zero.
None. And of course, they don't generate a dime. We generate all the money. And we never pay. We pay taxes on taxes on taxes on taxes.
Tax on tax on tax on tax. You're told you're polluting by heating your home. It's the best. You've been told to keep your house at 68 degrees. While these guys who've decided that over in some hidden place in Switzerland, and the WF deciding as they're flying their major planes in and corporations and yachts and stuff, telling you they can be warm and toasty and have boats and enjoy their lives and eat meat and everything else. And not you guys, because you guys are the people that are causing the problem.
Let them eat cake. just like where Marie Antoinette or whatever said that. Let them eat cake, those cake eaters. So let me do my second commercial for Hamilton Glowstone Lighting here. And you've seen this, so I know because we've talked about this before. Yes, but you go into a neighborhood, you see a beautiful house all lit up at night, and you go, wow, is that ever nice? And then you look and you really don't see any lights, anything shining except the lights. There's no cords, no plugs, nothing. Well, that's what Hamilton Glowstone Lighting do. They come to your house, they put up permanent outdoor lighting, and it lights up your house at night, gives you some safety on your pathways and your driveway. They are all soldered and track lighting, and they come in zones, and you can adjust the zones on your phone. So when you light up your house, if it's Canada Day, you can do it white and red, or Christmas green and red. You control the whole lights. They're all soldered. They're sealed from dust and moisture. They have a lifetime warranty on them.
Wow. That's amazing.
And no more climbing those ladders at Christmas to put up the Christmas lights and then climbing up to take them down in this rotten weather.
Warming those hands. Yeah. Shaking your hands because they're killing you, right?
And then you fall off the ladder and you end up at Niagara General, right, for 8 hours. Don't do it. Don't risk your life to put up Christmas lights. Call Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, the leader in outdoor permanent lighting. They'll come down, put all your lights up there. They're forever. Lifetime warranty. And they're going to make your house look beautiful. They're going to add value to your house. And it's just a beautiful sight. And in the daytime, you don't even see them.
It's going to save marriages, too.
Do they save marriages?
Yeah. Well, think about it. How many times,
I don't know.
I'm like traditional. I like the red and green for Christmas. My wife's from Serbia. She likes a little bit different color. So now my half of the house can be red and green.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's perfect.
Exactly. And you can celebrate all different holidays. St. Patrick's Day green, Halloween orange, whatever you want. You can change Prince's birthday purple.
Yeah, exactly.
His purple highness.
Or just that nice white light too that lights up your house in the summer, right? It looks beautiful.
Oh, it looks fantastic. Yeah. Anyway, how do you get this stuff? You get it by calling Colin Buckborough. He's the proprietor, and he's at 289-969-1797. That's 289-969-1797. Or if you want to just see some of these beautiful houses they've done, go to glowstonelighting.com, just like it sounds, GLOWSTONELIGHTING, and you'll be able to see a gallery of the houses they've done, and you're going to be so impressed that you're going to give Colin a call and get him down there to give you a free estimate. And away you go. Tell him Paul from your city, your voice sent you, and he'll be happy, and so will I.
Beautiful.
And there you go, Peter. So we're going to take a fly here because for the last 3 days, even though we were celebrating my mother's birthday and everything else going on, and me getting blacklisted, there was some stuff going on in the rest of the world, and particularly the Middle East, where we're just sitting holding our breath waiting for Iran to launch the attack. Well, the attack came this morning. They launched 150 to 200 drones. And in the meantime, Hezbollah was launching rockets at Israel as well. So it's ongoing, and a lot of people are saying we are witnessing history here, that it's going to be the start of World War III. And what do you think, Peter? Is that possible?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Everything's diversion. Everything is always diversion. And the military-industrial complex, which basically runs the world, you have to agree with that, right? It really does.
Yeah, for sure.
They decide where the wars are going to be, how they're going to be fought, and how much money is going to be spent, and where that money is going to go, and especially in their pockets. So, no, I first of all, I don't think Iran has enough in them. I mean, of course, if Donald Trump was in power, none of this would be happening. That I can guarantee you.
No.
That the response would have been shut down. So let's play the game. Do they have the ability to take down a country with their drones and the stuff they have and their 5 or 6 nuclear weapons? Do they have the ability?
What country?
Iran?
No, but what country are they taking down? Israel?
Yeah.
No, they're not going to take down Israel. They have too many weapons, too many. And I mean, if worse comes to worse, if Israel's got to save itself, they will launch a tactical nuke.
Exactly. So what's going to happen here?
I would say they're going to make it look good for their people, just like they did.
Make it look good for us?
2 or 3 months ago. And mostly for their people to show that they will respond, because they did kill Hania in Tehran. Well, but you know what? Did you hear about that?
Yes.
It was an inside job. The Mossad had infiltrated the Iranian National Army. I think they call them, there's a name that what they call them, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. They infiltrated them. And while they were infiltrating them, they sent a couple of agents in to plant the bombs in that building. And that's why he got blown up. They infiltrated the.
But that's not how it came out initially, did it?
No. No, nobody knew how it happened. And of course, the Israelis never did take credit for it, but that's because it's an inside job. They planted agents in there.
So what are they planting in our heads right now? Fear. F-E-A-R. Fear.
Yes, there is a lot of fear right now.
And they know how to work with fear. And if you think we're going into World War III, yeah, those people want to live too. Remember, the people that run the world want to live too, right? But they want to make money. They want us to suffer. They want to get rid of us. And they want the world to be the way they want it. So they'll do whatever they have to do to create diversion over here, diversion over there. This is happening over here. It's all diversion. All of it. It's all diversion. But at the same time, remember, it's diversion with transfer of money. And that money is being transferred out of our pockets. The middle class, they're trying to destroy us. And that's what it boils down to. And when you're in fear, we need $7 billion from our Canadian government to stop this war from happening. Oh, give it to them. I don't want to die.
That's the truth. And we saw that with COVID.
Yeah.
They just instilled so much fear that people were willing to do anything, including getting an experimental injection into their body. They had no reason to think it was any good. It was never proven that it was any good. Yet they just lined up, and they were taking pictures and showing up, bragging about it in front of that thing. We got vaccinated, crushed the curve. Remember that?
Oh, please.
Daddy crushed the curve.
We're all in this together.
Fear is a great motivator. There's two motivators in life: fear and money. They're the two big motivators.
And being part of the team.
Well, yeah, feeling don't be in
you don't be on the outside
in society. Yeah. You don't want to be the leper.
It starts in school. It all started in school. That's where you learn this. The bully, and everybody follows. And you ask, if you took those people away from the bully and said, "Do you like the bully?" Well, no, I really don't, but I want to be in with the cool people, right? Well, this is no different. This is exactly the same. It's never changed. I guess maybe school likes that to happen. Because I know a lot of times with my one son, he was getting bullied all the time. I was bullied, okay? They don't really want to stop bullying. They pretend they do, but they don't.
Why?
I think it's just something they teach. I think a lot of times people in power, even in schools, are bullies.
But what happens when you stand up to the bully?
Exactly. That's the thing. If you took all the people that were following the bully, and there's 10 or 20 of them, and they went at the bully, what happens to the bully? Gone.
He's gone.
But they don't see it because they live in fear of, oh, I won't be a part of this. Oh, somebody's going to beat me up. Oh, I won't be able to do what I want to do. The fact of the matter is, you can do everything you want to do, and everybody's it's no different than when they had the Jewish people in concentration camps and they walked. You had a choice. You had a choice to say, no, I'm willing to die, but I'm not going in there. And I'm going to fight you. And you know what? They would have won. They would have taken them over because there was a million more of them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's the same thing. Is you got to grow some. You really got to grow some, and you have to understand. Those of us who are 50 plus, we've had pretty good lives. Okay, we really have.
We have.
We owe it to our children, to our grandchildren, to leave this country at least the way we had it, okay, which was wonderful. And you can improve upon that. There was no doubt about that. And we started to improve upon that until greed and evil popped into the world, started to change it. And evil is all rooted around money, not the tool of money, but the power and control of money. And that's the difference. And the people at the top, don't think this just started over the last 5, 10, 15. This is since the late 1800s. This has been in motion and just developing. And, you know, if you look at the oil industry and the people who are involved with the oil industry, and we know their names, next thing you know, pharmaceuticals are developed from that, right? And it's all about control, money, what we let you do. And then they realize, oh, we like the Great Lakes. That's the most water. We don't want you to have. Well, we like the meat, and all these little swine are going to be eating all of our food. And we can't give them crickets, right? Give them crickets and kill most of them off, right? So it's up to us. It's up to us to stand up. And you know, the crazy thing, over this weekend, I met 4 people who told me they've got myocarditis. And one of the guys said after he got his last shot, he can't even help his wife pull flowers out of the garden. And now he's going through a cleanse, which he started this week. And hopefully that's going to turn around. But 4 people over the weekend with myocarditis after receiving the shot.
That's crazy.
But
it's coming. And 2025 is supposed to be the worst year than this year for that kind of thing.
I pray that's not the case. But, you know, there is, you know, if you get to like health food stores, and there's a couple in Niagara Falls, one, I can't remember what it's called, Naturally Healthy, with the 2 sisters there.
Yeah, what's her name there? One was a Morocco. She married in Morocco.
Yeah. And
Mary, I think her name is. Mary, yeah. Palladino, I think her maiden name was.
And so they have a store there, and they know about this stuff. And there's several people I know that have gone on the regime that they put together. Hey, is it cheap? No, it's not cheap. Is your health worth it? And people have felt so much better after, you know, having stuff removed and cleansed out of their body. So I highly recommend it. I really do.
Yeah, if you've gotten the vaccinations, you might want to try that. Luckily, I don't have it.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean they're still not trying to get us some other way, right?
Yeah, they're spraying all kinds of crap in the air and everything else.
Which, by the way, that's been admitted. So it's no longer a conspiracy theory. It's been admitted. They're admitted they're doing that. And it was a guy I was, you know, every now and then I get some people on Facebook, and I ignore most of it, or I get rid of them, right? I've got rid of so many people because I used to have close to 4,000 people. I think I'm down to like 2,100 now. And, you know, daily I'm getting rid of somebody. But there was a lady on there who actually worked in the U.S. Air Force. And what they change the name is it's like, are we going to have climate change? Or are we going to die from heat? We're going to die from cold. Well, in this case, what do they call it now? It's not chemtrailing. It's not changing the weather. It's eco-engineering, right?
Eco-engineering.
Eco-engineering. So, and so they are engineering the weather. Who gave them the right? It's always about the science, right? Which now I hate the word, even though I went to school for biochemical. I hate the word.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate that word. The science always evolves into something bad because the science developed the vehicles and the lifestyle we have. Obviously, it was bad, and we trusted them, and now it's our fault. Okay, the science of not being vaccinated, because if you're vaccinated, you won't get it or you won't transmit it. That didn't work out so well.
No,
that's our fault.
Well, I think trust the science went out the window with Fauci and the end of COVID, the way it ended. The vaccines didn't work. That was proven. The masks didn't work. That was proven. And basically, it just kind of went away with enough people getting it to have what do you call that? The herd immunity. So that's basically, that's what happens with most viruses, and they mutate into something else, and they get weaker and weaker as they go, and then something else. But I mean, they're still asking where this came from, and they still know it was engineered. I mean, in China, I mean, that's the bottom line.
Gain of function should never be allowed, ever, 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 ever. Nobody should be doing gain of function research. That should have been banned. Okay, there is no value to that other than they're trying to make bioweapons. End of conversation. There is nothing that is going to help you when you're doing that kind of research. It was used against us. Those proteins don't form naturally like that. You're talking about random mutation, okay? And viruses will always come in hard, and they'll mutate to the point where they're gone, and you get herd immunity, right? Every virus, every flu that ever came through, did people die? Yes, they did, but that's part of life. And simply, people have compromised immune systems. Some flus and viruses and bacteria, your body was just genetically not able to handle that. But that's, it's a small percentage. If you just do some simple research, if this stuff comes down, just please do simple research. And here's what it is. They told you to wear a mask. Research a mask. How hard is that? Surgical mask. Now, when somebody's doing surgery on it and they're wearing a surgical mask, does that stop the flow of bacteria and viruses?
No.
Absolutely doesn't. So you don't know that, but you think it does. They put those masks on and now it's totally sterile environment. It's not. What it is there for is because they wouldn't be able to breathe if it was any tighter on their face, right? It's in case they all of a sudden sneeze and they got a big blob coming out of their nose or their mouth, and it stops that from going into the wound or on the patient, right?
It stops the junior mint from falling into your body cavity. Remember that in Seinfeld when Kramer dropped the junior mint in? Yeah, it stops that kind of thing if you wear a mask.
If you want to understand, it's probably even small as I say, stand in the thoral tunnel. You're the virus. That's a hole in the mask.
Yeah.
So when you did this, or you just contaminated your mask. It's done. It's over. Right. And people are wearing them all day or a couple of days in a row. And the cloth ones, that's the biggest joke of all.
That dirty,
designer mask.
I see people take the mask, go into a grocery store, take it off, hang it on their mirror. Yeah. And then next time they go and take it off the mirror, put it on. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. But it was all ridiculous. But
I do agree with them. Like, unfortunately, now I won't wear one. But if you're going in to, get checked out, you've got the flu or something, you put a mask on your face, I 100% agree. When you're going to a doctor, you're not feeling well, you're sneezing and coughing, what it helps to do is stop the spread. And when you're sneezing and spewing all over the place, it does help. I agree with it. Unfortunately now, I don't want to wear a mask anywhere, even if I was sick. That's the way I feel.
Yeah.
And we were led down the wrong path. And just do simple research. Look up mRNA, see what it is, what it does, how it affects your body. It's not hard to find. And there's simple explanations and descriptions that you can learn from. I said this, I just said this to somebody the other day. I said, when they told me that the GNGH emergency was full of people with COVID, and so was St. Catharines General, you know what I did? I got off my lazy butt, stopped watching TV, got in my vehicle. It was cold, and I drove there. What do you think I saw?
Nothing.
GNGH, the lights were dimmed down in emergency. What do you think I saw when I went to St. Catharines? There was nobody there.
No.
And if you did that kind of research and understand, am I lying to you? No, well, let's tell you what. Find out if I'm lying. When you see stuff like that, go and research it, have a look for yourself. And when you finally realize, oh my God,
Yeah, that's why you can't trust the media. And
Can't.
even with this Iran thing and what's going on over there now, you don't really know what's really happening because you don't get the real story.
you don't know what's going on in the Ukraine.
They do want to instill fear,
Of
right?
course, fear
And
is a big word.
And see, today it's a little bit different than World War II because in World War II, we were 6,000 miles away from the action. It was in Europe, and even France didn't think it would be a big deal until they marched into Paris.
Yeah.
Today, they can reach us with bombs. We have let 10 or 12 million in through the southern border of the United States. They are here.
Yep.
So it's very easy for the media to manipulate this because now, we're not 6,000 miles away anymore. 6,000 miles is nothing.
Could they have walked handheld nukes across the border?
They can walk them across. The guys coming over the southern border are from all over the place. They let so many in. We probably have them here. It's here and now. Like, look at Britain right now.
Oh, wow.
There's a civil war going on over there. It's a battle for Britain.
Yeah.
It really, really is the Muslims versus the Christians. And that's what's going on all over the world right now. And don't think it can't come to Canada. And it's already in the United States. You see these Palestinians yelling and screaming. They're Arabs. They're Muslims.
Didn't they shut down part of the Gardner this morning? I heard.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I heard they shut down part of the Gardner this morning.
I wouldn't doubt it. And
that, I'll tell you right now, and that in itself tells you a lot. When your government and your police force don't stop what's going on with Hamas, walking down streets, death to Israel, people's heads chopped off, stuff like that, that's wrong. I don't care what you think. And again, do some investigations and research about Gaza and who's occupying what and what's happened over there and who's tried to keep peace in that area. Just do some research. Don't listen to the media because they're lying to you. But to allow people to walk around, what happens if you walk around and say you want death to a politician? What would happen to you?
now you're going to get arrested.
They're going to be at your doorstep tomorrow. They're going to be there this afternoon.
Unless you're Palestinian. Because
Correct.
they say death to politicians, death to America. They burn American flags. No repercussions. And if they get arrested, they yell racism.
So in the States, they're saying, well, Trump says he wants to jail people who burn the flag. And that's going against freedom of speech. Absolutely not. That flag has blood on it, the blood of people who stood up for the freedom. And I mean, you have to understand the horrible wars and stuff these people are in, right? The deaths were terrible. And they stood up for freedom. That has blood on it. And I agree 100%. You burn the flag, the American flag, absolutely, you go to jail.
And I agree with it for the Canadian flag, too.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's our flag. People fought for that flag. And for people just to disrespect it by burning it. I mean, I'm even worse. I mean, I think that anybody who changes it in any way and flies it. In other words, you got the Pride people changing it to the rainbow colors. No. You got Toronto Maple Leaf fans changing it to a Toronto Maple Leaf. No. The Canadian flag is sacrosanct. People fought and died for that flag.
And that's the basis of that flag.
Right.
That's what that flag is about. People who came together, fought together, gave us the freedoms we have to do and the lives that which were really good about 4 or 5 years ago, what we have right now, and the freedom to speak to a point in Canada. We, of course, are being shut down in our freedom of speech, like what we're talking about right now. But
and we have a little bit of it right now.
There's so much more to that flag than just the thing, oh, I'm Canadian, I look at that flag. That there is so much more to that. It has blood on it. Understand it has a lot of blood on it.
Yeah, and it makes me laugh. They're having a civil war over in Britain, and it's gonna come to Canada. I mean, it already has. Really, they're protesting, closing down roads and schools and everything. But eventually, Canadians are gonna have to stick up, and if they don't, they're gonna lose their country.
Absolutely.
That's the only way it can go. I mean, you either stick up, and same with the United States, as they got this Kamala Harris, a real left-wing radical, and she's hooked up with AOC and Amman and all these other people who hate America, and they say they hate America, and they have these people burning flags, and they don't do anything about it. They contribute to the Minnesota Fund. She did, Kamala Harris, and worked for the Minnesota Fund so they could bail out terrorists who burned down Minnesota and burned down other places.
And that's her VP now.
Yeah, and that's, well, Waltz.
Yeah.
He picked Tim Waltz this morning. I think his name's, Tim Waltz is her VP, another liberal, although he's not as far left as Kamala. She will be the farthest left president ever if she gets elected.
She'll be president. Can't happen.
She can't.
That can't happen.
She can't. I don't think
It's
she
game
will.
over for all of us if she's president.
The media is really trying to change her image. I mean, it's out there exactly what she is, but the media has tried to flop her, and she's trying to flop, saying, "Oh, she wants to close the borders." All this stuff that
And she was never the
did.
border czar. It is actually documented from Congress.
Right.
She is the border czar.
What'd she do? Zero. Nothing.
Actually, less
Goose
than
egg.
zero. Less than zero. She didn't even speak.
Yeah, she let more in than ever. And now we're having the stock market crashing and everything around Bidenomics. I mean, like this is not nothing new. It's been happening all the way along, and now it's coming to roost. All this stuff is coming to roost. And if you believe, like Peter does, that this is being manipulated so that she don't win, maybe it is. I don't know.
I hope that common sense prevails. I really do. Like, I don't care if you don't like Trump. Just look at his policies. Look at where the country was. Look at Biden. Look at his policies. Look at it. If you don't even want to look at open borders. How dangerous is that to any country?
Well, if you don't have borders, you don't have a country.
You see any of the countries, Iran, Iraq, or Saudi Arabia, with their open borders? Do you see that happening? They did it to Britain. They opened those, and you saw this 10 years ago, what was going on. And I couldn't, because Britain was the strongest empire in the world at one time. And now it's being reduced to nothing. Somebody sold them out. I think part of it starts with the royal family. I also think it's a lot of people who were prime ministers over the last few years, and they've had a lot. And it's sad to see where you see the culture of England, Scotland, Ireland being eroded and wiped out. Who's doing that? And for what reason? It's got to be people who control the world. I mean, it's only logical. Somebody is in control. The same thing is happening here. I have no problem. I have absolutely no problem with people immigrating to this country. My family's immigrants. My wife's family's immigrants. Your family's immigrants. Okay? We came together. We built this country. We worked for the freedoms of this country. We stood by each other. We put aside our differences, and we created a culture. And there's a beautiful culture. And it included the indigenous people too, which still in my opinion, haven't been totally treated fairly, but it's gotten better. And I mean, I had the opportunity when I worked at CHRW Radio to be a part of those people. Just beautiful people with a great culture. I love culture. The Italians have the Italian club. The Ukrainians have theirs. Everybody had their, and you could go and be a part of their culture. When it came to Christmas or how our cultures were developing, we all agreed on it. We all participated in it. All of a sudden, you start to mix culture, and you're no longer, because in order to be a Canadian citizen, you had to go to school. You remember on Canada Day, we'd parade them down the street, the new Canadians. They pass their course. They understand our culture. They understand the rules. We don't do that anymore.
No.
Then you go and, again, do some research, because I did. What's the immigration over the last 5 years? From what countries and what area? There's two that 85% of immigration comes from. Just two.
Pakistan and India.
You got it. Now, who do you think's at the bottom?
At the bottom of white Europeans.
And the UK and the United States. People who have the same culture. So who's doing it? Who came up with that? It's not us. We didn't come up with that idea. We didn't ask our politicians who represent us to say, hey, I think we should do this and completely change our culture. I'm not a racist. I don't appreciate some culture if it tries to overtake other cultures, which is the culture we created here. And we did. And we were proud of our culture. And we were proud to be Canadians. It's tough now to be proud to be Canadian.
Well, when you call a country a melting pot, it means everybody gets in the pot and they melt and blend together. It doesn't mean that 5 or 6 people or groups stay out of a melting pot and run their own show while everybody else is trying to get along, right? They don't want to share your culture. They don't want to share any of your beliefs. They don't want to share anything Canadian. They want their own culture. They want their own rules. They want everything they left their country for, they want to have here. So my question is, why'd you leave in the first place?
Correct. Or were you?
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. And then the next thing is white privilege. I can't stand when I hear white privilege. Every color built this country. Every color built the United States of America. If you want to look at white culture that's getting, that takes the best, you go to the elites, because they're the people who control what's going on. It's not us. Why do you sit there and I cannot believe the people think about, I'm white. I deserve to suffer. Why? Why? Because we fought for freedoms. We created a culture that was open to all cultures, okay, based on Judeo-Christian values, but allowing other religions to come in to have their rights and their freedoms of religion. So white privilege is the most ignorant, racist thing anybody can say. And anybody accepts that. And do you see the people that are on these like mega Zoom calls and they're bleeding hearts and, okay. And why is that? Well, because of slavery. All right. Can we talk openly about slavery?
Sure.
Did you see the woman, I can't remember her name, on The View? She's black. She's got something else in her too. And they had a guy come on. They never expected what was going to come out of this guy.
The Whoopi?
No, it wasn't Whoopi. It was the younger one. I cannot remember her name.
I don't know.
It's just the young table. Pretty girl, nice hair.
Oh, yeah, I know the one you mean. Yeah. I don't know her name.
Anyways, they went through a genealogy. Guess what? Her family owned slaves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she died. Okay.
Kamala's family owned slaves in Jamaica.
It. There's another lady who sits high atop something in the government, and she found out, would not believe it, and they showed it to her, and she was stunned. Okay. So take slavery back farther than they want you to know about. Do you know where black slavery started? It was black on black slavery
in Africa.
And then they went to Ireland. You don't know these because you don't look at it. They went to Ireland and grabbed Irish people, brought them down. So you got more for a black slave, less for an Irish slave, but if they combine them, you got the middle point. And that's a fact. Look it up. That's a fact. We've always had slavery. The Jews were under the Egyptians. Okay. There's always been a form of slavery, but we were growing out of it. We were becoming one. It was stopping. It was the Republicans, by the way, who were fighting to stop slavery. And everybody thinks it was the Democrats. I never understood that because if you just go back simple history, it was the Republicans, Abraham Lincoln, okay, that changed these things. Look, don't take what they try to tell you now. It's like, oh my gosh, we for the slavery. Look, I don't agree with slavery. I think it was the most disgusting thing in the world. It made me sick, And I know people who still had attitude when I was playing hockey in the States, but an attitude because we didn't have that attitude in Canada. We didn't have it. So it stunned me when people were saying that. And I'd say, what are you talking about? And then I almost got in a fight in my own dressing room with a guy about that, right? But we were going past that. We were moving past that. Now it's like, oh, race. Oh, you're black. They don't like you. You're white. You got a privilege. They got nothing. Well, what about you, Whoopi? What do you got? Millions of dollars. Why don't you get in that bank account and start helping it out? And then you go to the next thing. Where are most of the abortion clinics in the United States of America?
They're in black cities or black whatever, but it's 99% black. Somebody told me that guns kill more black children than anything else, and I'm going, no, you're wrong. They go, why? What do you think kills more black children? I go, abortion. They're
culling the herd themselves, and they don't even know it.
And the blacks will say the abortions are to get rid of the blacks because they're the ones who have 90% of the abortions.
So it's really so sad how they turn things around and then throw it back at you.
You say that though you're a racist, right?
Yeah,
but it's true. I mean, you look at the facts, and that's somebody said to me on the thing. I go on these big things, and I said, no, I just use facts. I just state facts. And people don't like the truth; they don't like facts.
They won't even argue facts. You give them facts, they give you Reddit. You give them facts, they give you Reddit, and then they call you names.
You give them facts, and they say Trump.
Yeah,
like how did Trump get involved in this?
I know.
Right? I mean, I wasn't even talking about that.
Like, I literally one day, this lady, we always talk, we never talk politics, and this was back in October last year. And she's walking by me and she goes, this weather. I said, yeah, it's not nice. She goes, it's because of Trump.
Yeah.
What? It's because of Trump.
Oh, yeah, Trump. Because he doesn't like climate change. He pulled out a climate change accords, right?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But, a lot of times it's just diversion. I mean, they don't know what to say. They have no fact. They have no argument. So what are they going to do? They're going to reach out and say Trump. Whether it comes to the weather, Trump, this, Trump, that, Trump, everything's Trump.
Democracy will be gone. Trump.
Yeah, Trump or climate change.
But you don't see it here in our country where democracy is quickly disappearing. We have had a dictatorship since the onset of COVID. We have had a dictatorship in this country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're getting it in the States. I mean, think about it. Who elected
Nobody.
Kamala? She was appointed vice president. She was chosen by Biden. She went in and she ran in the primaries when Biden was running in
Zero
the primaries.
votes.
She got 0 votes. She had to drop out in December before they even reached Iowa. She got zero votes during the primaries now for this run at president, right? And there was people who got 500,000 that ran against Biden. I mean, they weren't going to beat him, but
Yep.
they were in there. They got 500,000 votes. Biden got 14 million. Kamala Harris got 0.
Big goose egg.
And she was just appointed,
Yeah.
crowned.
Yeah.
So if they talk about Trump is going to be the end of democracy. Well, they've already done that.
It's gone.
Yeah, because they should be going to the convention August 19th and electing a delegate, electing somebody to represent their party. But that's already over with.
It's stacking the Supreme Court. How is that democratic?
Yeah.
How?
Well, it isn't.
No, it's not. And now they want to get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And they want to get rid of she wants to get rid of ICE.
Yeah.
Because they're racist against people coming into the country, open borders. And she wants to defund the police and have social workers doing police work.
Oh, that'd be great.
All social workers.
Yeah, it'd be great.
And how's it working out for Philadelphia, New York City, Chicago? I mean, and these are the kind of crazy things that she believes in and she has backed.
Well, she also thinks she's fooled black people by saying she's black. She
denied
denied being Indian. Okay, she denied it. Not denied it, but it hasn't been part of what she's been over the last year, right? She's become black all of a sudden.
all of a sudden.
Now she does have some black blood from Jamaica in her.
Yes, but not African.
Yeah,
not African black.
So, and she embraced the Indian culture. That's fine. It's like in my side of the family, I'm half Ukrainian, so I embraced the Ukrainian side more. And she always did that until it became more comfortable. Trump called it out. What do you say, right?
Yep, and everybody got mad at him.
Yeah, that wasn't a racist comment. That's a fact.
That's a fact. People don't like facts. They don't like truth. They don't like facts.
I'm okay. Why did you come up and say I'm both? Hey, I'm black Indian culture. Beautiful. It's wonderful.
Well, she's a liar anyway. She
Yeah.
lies about everything. But the thing is there's pictures of her in a sari and with an Indian family, and she was Indian heritage. And all of a sudden, when it became convenient, she was black.
Yeah,
she's not even black. She's Jamaican. I mean, if you're saying black, when you think of black, I think of African Americans, right? African, but
a woman of color. Okay, I can go with that.
Yeah, or a Jamaican.
Yeah.
Why does she say she's a Jamaican?
Exactly. And the truth of the matter is, why does color matter? Why does culture matter?
It doesn't.
You get the best person for the job. You listen to what they've got. You listen to what they're going to do for you, how they're going to take care of the country. Are they going to keep the democracy the way it should be? And those are the people you want. Just color and sex and your sexual orientation, none of that. It's like, we're going to have the first gay president. We're going to have the first female prime minister. Who cares? Just give me the best. Don't care who it is.
Yeah, we're going to have the first qualified woman president. That's what I want.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care what the hell her background is or anything else.
Well, it's about time we had a woman president. Okay, I don't know where that comes from. How about it's about time we have the best? How about that we have the best Secret Service people protecting people who need to be protected, like presidents and former presidents?
Exactly.
Okay. How about we have the best of the best? No, because we got DEI now that's taken over everything, and it's like it's been put in people's mind again. How do you screw things up? It's like you can't be failed in school. Hockey, we're going to take hitting out until they're like 15 and nobody loses. Well, you know what? In life, everybody loses. That's the reality. Yeah. And if you're not taught how to deal with it, man, does that put you in a bad place. That puts you're so vulnerable when you don't know how to lose and accept loss and then move on from it. You become vulnerable to anybody, the next person that comes along. If that's your government who's going to save you, it's like, save me. I've never lost. Yeah, what do I do?
Because when we played soccer, we got awards even if we came in last place.
Yeah.
The top one is the top dog. They earned it and they get it. Everybody else is second, also rans, and you forget who came second.
Then we shouldn't have elections. The best shouldn't be the mayor.
No.
The worst, or let's just randomly pick somebody.
Yeah, like anybody couldn't be mayor.
I think
if they don't know anything, they can be mayor because everybody gets an award. No, there's the best of the best because they are the best of the best.
Yeah.
Like it's going to become really evident to everybody when Kamala has to go off script in a debate with Trump, a businessman who understands the economy and how things work versus somebody who has done nothing and understands nothing. Oh yeah, the price of bread and tomatoes went up. That's her understanding of the economy. And Venn diagrams.
She won't go in a debate. She already backed off in the Fox debate. So.
Yeah, well, she wants it under her terms because they're gonna favor her. But no, that's all gone. That all went to bed with away with Biden, right? So that's all over.
And she hasn't earned any place to call the shots.
Not at all. Nothing. She's done nothing. But anyway, on that note, that's what's going on in the world. There's a lot of crap going on. Keep your eyes open. Like Peter said, do research. Find stuff out. Search it down.
And if you find out we're wrong, show me the research. I'll look at it.
Yeah.
You'll look at it.
Well, I say that all the time, man. If I'm not right, please let me know. But just don't give me because you don't like what I say. At least give me some proof that Kamala's done something. Or Trudeau's a good prime minister.
She's done something. Nothing. What has been will be, and not in the future.
I just she's just hilarious to listen to. They got so many clips of her and her nonsense, and it's just crazy. On that.
Is she really a lawyer? Like, did she really pass any exams?
Well, she failed the bar before. I mean, but she never. I don't think she prosecuted a case as attorney general. All she did was put 1,500 blacks in jail for marijuana.
Her people?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
I guess that's what she did. I mean, she's never done anything herself. We know how she got to the top.
Yeah,
that's proven.
We know how she got on the ticket. That's a fact.
That's yeah, and she's on the ticket because she's DEI. I mean, diversity, equity, and inclusion. She's a black woman, and Joe Biden.
That came right out of Joe Biden's mouth. Okay,
yeah.
Let's not go ahead. Check it out. It came right out of his mouth.
And she wasn't even the best black woman for the job. She was the one that Obama wanted.
Yeah.
And they have helped her get into politics in San Francisco, which is a big mess now. In California, it's a big mess. She's the one who ran that. Just terrible. Anyway, on that note, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, me too.
Enough
is enough. It gets stressed, right?
Oh man. I could do this all day. I mean, I should just run a 4-hour news show every afternoon because we could sit here for 4 hours talking about everything going on.
I wish we had an open line. That's what I wish. I wish we had open line because I did talk for years, but this would be so good for open line.
Yeah, to get people calling in.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, I mean, if I could find a way to get that phone into that video, I mean, we can take calls, but it would be on the voice. But I got to find a way to get the phones into that video, into that camera.
Couldn't we get a translator who'd be like, hey, and he said, I agree with what those guys are saying.
Well, you know what I told somebody? I might get those. I'm going to give it a try one day. Get those headphones, plug them in, and then put one of these little microphones inside the headphones.
I do that. I've done that.
And see if it'll pick it up enough to be able to come on the video.
I've been on location and had to do that. I've done that.
Yeah, well, that's what I might have to do because I don't have another way to get that speaker, this microphone, into the board, through the board, and into the camera. And I've got to get the board into the camera. They'll be calling through the board on the phone dial here. You pump it up. They come through the board and onto the recording. And I got to get it into the phone. We got to figure that out.
We'll work it out.
Take calls.
I would love it.
Maybe one afternoon we will do a 3-hour show and take calls.
I'm in.
That'd be awesome.
Count me in. I'm in.
Well, we could do it. I mean, you could do it. Anyway, my name's Paul Calamere. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate your tuning into our show and listening to us. And if you have an opinion, you can always message me and I'll get it on the next show. Check out our video on YouTube. This will be on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so you know when we're going to be on. Hit the notification. And then whenever Peter's in or anybody else is in on the show or just me sitting here by myself, you're welcome.
It's the guy right there. It's the guy.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome to comment and I'll get it on the show. Message me before the show.
You know where I'm going right now?
I don't know where you're going. I'm not psychic.
I'm going over to the Niagara Falls Memorial Arena site to see where it's at.
Oh, man. I can't end the show on that. It's a heartbreaker to see the old Memorial Arena where we spent our years, our younger years, having a great time. And now it's going to be torn down. Well, it's being torn down now. So
War Memorial.
Yep, Memorial. The other one, Stanford Memorial Arena, went down the tubes. Now this one's going. That's it.
It's over.
Well, next show you can report on it.
Okay.
Take care, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow with Habsolutely at noon. All Habs, all show. And I don't know, maybe Chris Regis will be on Thursday, maybe. Take care. Have a great day.